Logan Carter was 16 years old, living in a small, quiet town in Ohio. His world was simple: a small house, a hard-working mother, an absent father, and a school full of students who never noticed him. But inside him lived a dream so fragile and so powerful that he was afraid to speak it out loud. He wanted to become someone his mother could be proud of. Someone who wasn't just average, someone who wasn't just trying, but someone who made it. Every morning, long before sunrise, Logan's alarm rang at 5:30 a.m. Not many students woke up at that hour, but Logan did not because he loved studying, but because he believed something simple. If I can't be smarter than everyone, I will be more consistent than everyone. He dragged himself out of bed, rubbed his sleepy eyes, and sat at his old wooden desk. It had scratches, faded corners, and a lamp that flickered whenever he touched the switch. But to Logan, that desk was a battlefield, the place where he fought for a better life. Behind the desk hung an old poster. It said, "Consistency always wins." His father had bought it for him before leaving the family years ago. Logan didn't have many memories of him, but that poster stayed, and somehow it felt like the last gift his father ever gave. Every morning, Logan stared at those words before opening his books. Sometimes they pushed him. Sometimes they hurt him. Sometimes they felt like a promise he could never reach. Still, he sat down and studied. 2 hours before school, 2 hours after school, weekends, holidays, rainy days, sick days. He studied when he was tired. He studied when he was lonely. He studied even when the results didn't change. And that was the real problem. His results never changed. When the teacher walked around the classroom handing back test papers, Logan's chest tightened every time. He prayed quietly. Maybe this time, maybe this one is better. His fingers shook as he flipped the paper. C. Sometimes a D+. Always the same. Always disappointing. His heart fell a little more each time. Meanwhile, other students barely opened their books and still got B's and A's. Some would laugh softly. Some would whisper, "He studies all day and still fails. Why does he even bother? Logan is trying too hard for nothing." And the worst one, "He's just not smart." Logan heard them. He pretended he didn't. He kept his head down and packed his bag slowly. The walk home was always quiet, just the sound of cars, leaves blowing across the road, and his thoughts that never stopped. At home, he always did the same thing. He went straight to his room, opened the bottom desk drawer, and slipped the test paper in. That drawer was heavy now, filled with months of low grades, folded carefully so his mom wouldn't see. His mom worked 2 jobs: a cleaner during the day, a cashier at night. She always came home tired, shoes worn out, hands rough from long hours of work, but she never forgot to smile at him. Every night she said the same thing: "Do your best, sweetheart. That's all that matters." But Logan didn't want to give her his best. He wanted to give her results. He wanted her to rest. He wanted to change their life. Every night, Logan opened another notebook, not for studying, but for tracking his progress. He wrote, "Day 1, studied 2 hours. Day 2, still studying. Day 3, no improvement. Day 10, I feel slow. Day 22, still nothing. Day 41, why is nothing changing? Day 63, I'm trying. I really am. Day 78, I feel tired. Day 101, maybe consistency doesn't work for me." The numbers kept growing. His improvement did not. And slowly, something inside him began to break. One night, after dinner, Logan locked himself in the bathroom. He turned on the dim light and stared into the mirror. The face staring back at him looked tired, eyes dull, hair messy, shoulders slumped. He whispered to himself, maybe I'm just not smart enough. Maybe everyone was right. Maybe I'm wasting my time. For the first time in months, he didn't open his textbook. He didn't take notes. He didn't set goals. He just sat down on the floor beside his bed, pulled his knees close, and cried. Quietly, deeply, painfully. A kind of cry that comes from months of frustration, months of trying, months of failing, months of feeling invisible. He almost quit that night. He almost gave up everything he had worked for. But life has a strange way of testing us right before it blesses us. Because something was about to happen, something small, simple, and surprising that would slowly change everything for Logan Carter. And he didn't even know it yet. The next morning, Logan woke up feeling heavy. He didn't jump out of bed the way he used to. He didn't feel the fire that normally pushed him forward. His mind was tired. His heart even more. He sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the floor. For the first time in a long time, he ignored his textbooks. His alarm went off again at 5:35, and again at 5:40. He didn't move. But then, something very small happened. A soft knock. Logan? It was his mom. She slowly opened the door. Her hair was tied up in a messy bun. Her eyes tired from another long night shift. But she still had that gentle smile, the one she saved only for her son. I made breakfast, she said quietly. Come eat something. Logan nodded, even though he wasn't hungry. At the table, she placed a plate of scrambled eggs in front of him. She sat across from him, watching him with worried eyes. You didn't study this morning, she said softly. Logan froze. He didn't expect her to notice. He looked down. His voice cracked as he whispered, Mom, I don't think I'm getting anywhere. She put her hand on his, not forcing him to speak, just giving him warmth, something he had been missing. Logan, she said gently, life doesn't reward you right away. It never does. He didn't respond. He just stared at the table. She waited a moment, then continued. Do you know how long it took me to save enough money to buy this house? 7 years. 7 years of slow progress that felt like nothing, until suddenly, one day, everything added up. She squeezed his hand. You are planting seeds, Logan. You can't see the roots yet, but that doesn't mean they aren't growing. Those words stayed with him. They echoed inside his mind. They felt warm, but they still didn't magically fix his confidence. He walked to school quietly. That afternoon, something unexpected happened. The math teacher, Mr. Reynolds, asked Logan to stay after class. Logan's heart dropped. He thought he was in trouble. But Mr. Reynolds didn't look angry. He stood beside Logan's desk, holding a stack of worksheets. Logan, he said, I've noticed something about you. Logan swallowed nervously. What did I do? Mr. Reynolds smiled softly. You're consistent. You never miss homework. You try harder than anyone in this room. Your results don't show it yet, but I see the effort. Logan blinked in surprise. No teacher had ever said that to him before. Mr. Reynolds placed the worksheets on the desk. These are practice sheets. They're not graded. Just for you. Do a little every day, 10 minutes here, 15 there. Trust the process. Trust the process. Logan repeated the words silently. He took the sheets home. He didn't plan to do all of them. He just planned to try a little. That night, he opened the first sheet. And something surprising happened. He understood the first problem. He solved it correctly. Then the next one. And the next. For the first time in months, he felt a tiny spark in his chest. Not a big one, not a bright one, but a spark like a match, lighting in a dark room. He whispered to himself, maybe I'm not useless. Maybe I'm just slow. And maybe slow is okay. The next day, Logan returned the sheet to Mr. Reynolds. The teacher looked at it, nodded, and said, See? You're getting better. It doesn't look like much now, but this is exactly how progress begins. Something even more unexpected happened next. A girl from his class, Emma Brooks, walked up to him after school. She had noticed him studying alone for months. She had seen him come early and leave late. Most people ignored him, but Emma didn't. "I saw you working on those practice sheets," she said. "That's impressive. Not everyone tries that hard." Logan felt his face heat up. He wasn't used to compliments. Emma continued, "I'm not great at math either. Maybe we could study together?" Logan hesitated. He had always studied alone. Not by choice, but because nobody ever asked to join him. But something inside him told him to say yes. "Sure," he said quietly. "I'd like that." And just like that, Logan's world shifted. Not in a dramatic, movie-like way, but slowly, quietly, like the beginning of a sunrise. For the first time in months, Logan didn't feel alone. That weekend, Logan and Emma sat in the library, working through the practice sheets together. Sometimes Logan solved problems faster. Sometimes Emma did. But they helped each other, encouraged each other, and even laughed a little. Emma looked at him and said, "You know, you're smarter than you think." Those words hit him harder than she realized. Because it wasn't just Emma. His mom believed in him. Mr. Reynolds believed in him. Now Emma believed in him. Maybe it was time for Logan to believe in himself too. That night, Logan opened his notebook again. The same notebook where he had written his struggles and failures. But this time, he wrote something new. Day 112. For the first time, I feel a little hope. I'm not giving up. Not yet. And that tiny shift, that tiny change in mindset, was the beginning of something bigger than Logan could see. Because the universe always responds to those who don't quit. Even when progress is invisible, even when results are delayed, even when success feels far away, consistency is never wasted. And Logan was about to discover that in a powerful way. The weeks passed slowly. Logan's mornings became a quiet ritual. Wake up at 5:30, a cup of coffee, a quick breakfast, and a session with his practice sheets. Every day, without fail. He still didn't see big results. Some days, he made mistakes he had made before. Some days, he felt frustrated, tired, and invisible. But now, he had something he didn't have before: hope. Emma continued studying with him every weekend. They worked on problems together, quizzed each other, and shared small victories, like finally solving a hard problem they had struggled with for days. Their small victories felt enormous. And Logan began to notice something subtle but powerful. He was slowly understanding things he once thought impossible. He was slowly building confidence, not by luck, but by quiet, unrelenting effort. One rainy afternoon, Logan walked into Mr. Reynolds' classroom to take a surprise quiz. His heart beat fast, not with fear, but with a strange excitement. The teacher handed him the paper. Logan read the first problem. He solved it, then the second, then the third. One by one, problem after problem, the answers flowed. He couldn't believe it. It wasn't magic. It was practice. Day after day, month after month. The kind of effort nobody else noticed. Until now. When the quiz was over, Mr. Reynolds looked at him. "You did very well, Logan. Excellent work." Logan blinked. His hands trembled slightly. He had never heard those words before. By the end of the week, Logan's report card arrived. He opened it slowly. He held his breath. And free. B+. B. His grades had jumped, not to the top of the class yet, but he could see the difference. All the months of quiet struggle, all the small, invisible efforts, had finally begun to show results. Logan felt a swell of pride, not because he was suddenly the smartest, But because he had proven something far more important, he could trust himself. And he could trust the process. That evening, Logan sat in his room and pulled out the notebook where he had documented every failure, every tear, every night he almost gave up. He wrote a final note for the month. Day 150. It works. I couldn't see it before, but now I can. Consistency wins. His mom peeked in and smiled. I'm proud of you, Logan. He smiled back, a mixture of relief and joy washing over him. For the first time, he understood something he had only read in books. Success isn't about genius, luck, or talent. It's about showing up again and again, even when nobody is watching. Months turned into a year. Logan continued his routine, and by the end of the year, something incredible happened. He stood at the top of his class in math. He qualified for the state-level science competition. His friends noticed him now, but it wasn't their approval he cared about anymore. It was his own. One quiet night, Logan looked at the poster above his desk. Consistency always wins. He smiled. He understood now. It wasn't a slogan. It was a promise. A promise that every hour, every small step, every quiet effort was never wasted. A promise that those who never quit will always see the fruits of their labor, even if it takes months, even years. And for Logan Carter, the boy who once studied without results, the invisible struggle had become his greatest strength. He had learned something far greater than grades. He had learned life itself. Patience, persistence, and consistency are the keys to turning dreams into reality. And with that, Logan closed his notebook. For the first time in a long time, he slept peacefully, knowing that he was no longer defined by his failures, but by his courage to keep going. And that, my friends, is the story of Logan Carter, a boy who never gave up, even when the world seemed to ignore him, and even when results didn't come for months. His journey teaches us one simple, yet powerful truth. Success is not about being the fastest, the smartest, or the luckiest. Success is about showing up day after day and trusting the process, even when nobody is watching. So, whatever goal you are chasing, whatever dream feels far away, remember Logan's story. Start small. Be consistent. Keep moving forward. Because every hour you invest in yourself, every small step you take, it is never wasted. And one day, just like Logan, you will look back and realize that all your quiet efforts have built a life you once only dreamed of. Stay patient, stay consistent, and most importantly, never give up. Thank you for listening. And remember, your journey is just beginning.